Hi everyone, I'm Joseph and this is Mixed Reactor, and I just want to go ahead and give you guys some information regarding the new update that's coming to Lost Ark. There's a lot of information in this update, so just go ahead and get right into it. Rock says, Heroes of Arcesia, we appreciate your patience while we work through these launch window issues. Your feedback and issue reports are extremely helpful and appreciated as we continue working together to make Lost Ark the best it can be. Crystalline Aura Fix. In the weekly maintenance that took place on February 24th, we fixed the ongoing issues surrounding disappearing crystalline aura. This was one of the top reported issues over the last few weeks, and we're happy to let players know that it is now resolved. Please be aware that after our maintenance periods, it can sometimes take a few minutes or a few loading screens for crystalline aura and store items to display normally after logging in, so don't worry if this happens. Thank you, and we appreciate you too. Europe West Crystalline Aura Attendance Event Ward plus Europe West March login rewards. When we opened the Europe West region, we put a special daily attendance login event in place to help players progress. Fortunately, Crystalline Aura and crystals were obtainable as rewards, which created an unintended scenario that allowed players to redeem rewards up to 352 days of Crystalline Aura on their accounts. We quickly swapped these out for new rewards, Una's daily task plus 1 times 10, and rare combat engraving recipe selection pouch times 10. But we understand the frustration around the change. While we won't be banning players who took advantage of this error, to maintain a fair atmosphere, we will be revoking Crystalline Aura that was obtained from the event. We will host an additional login attendance event again in March exclusively for players in Europe West. This event will contain updated rewards and will share more details in the near future. Matchmaking issues. While we've put some changes in place to help improve the unstable matchmaking that occurs in Europe Central region, it's clear that these efforts have not been impactful enough to make a major difference. The team is still working for a long-term fix for this problem and want players to know that it is a top priority for the team. We've identified a possible fix that is currently in testing, and we will share an ETA as soon as possible. Guardian Raid and Abyss Dungeon difficulty. We recently shared that we will be adjusting the difficulty of some T1 and T2 content in order to make it a bit easier for players. This was met with mixed feedback, so we want to provide insight as to why these changes are being made. This has been a hot topic for the last week or so. A lot of people excited and a lot of people in disagreement about this. So as a refresher, here are the raids and dungeons that will be adjusted. We will have a breakdown of the changes in this week's patch notes. Guardian raids. First we've got Virtus, Necresia, Flamefox, Yoho, Titalos, a.k.a. and Alberhastic. Abyss dungeons, Necromancer's Origin, Hall of the Twisted Warlord, Hildebrandt Palace, Sea of Indolence. These adjustments are based off a collection of data and feedback, including game data that showed very low success rates for participants, with some raids and dungeons completed by less than 10% of players. We understand that people can practice and improve at the game over time, but for early game content in particular, we want to ensure that new players are having fun learning and advancing instead of getting frustrated and giving up. Looking forward, this change is not an indicator that all future content will be made easier. We know that much of the appeal of T3 and late game content is its unique and challenging mechanics, and we do not want to drastically alter this core experience. As Lost Ark is a live game, collecting feedback and making updates is an active process and always will be. While tweaks may happen based on this feedback and data, we will always be open to revisiting any hot topics or changes, especially as the game and our player base continue to grow over time. Update to Gold Seller, Spam, and Bots. We are constantly adjusting tools, improving chat filters, and acting on reports to ban gold sellers and bots from the game at a rapid rate. In fact, spammers last an average of less than 10 minutes in-game before getting banned. However, it's clear that there are more actions we can take to put a stop to this problem. Additionally, we're currently making improvements to our anti-cheat and anti-spam tools. While we won't detail these plans, as doing so could open the door for bad actors and to try and circumvent our efforts, upgrades are on their way. Another step we have taken to help combat chat spam is to restrict area chat for characters under level 30. While we understand that area chat is an important feature in Lost Ark, this will help stop spammers from being able to instantly create new accounts in order to spam. Players under level 30 will be able to participate in chat with groups, friends, and dungeons and more. this is a common thing I've seen happen with these, so this is acceptable in my eyes here. So player reports are instrumental in helping us ban spammers and bots. Submit a report in-game by holding control and clicking on a player name in the chat window. Be sure to select the suspecting scamming/cash transaction or suspected use of illegal programs bots option from the drop-down menu, as it will help aid our support team in taking swift action. It's also worth remembering that while we work to improve our fixes for spammers in chat, you can always create a new chat tab by clicking the plus icon in the chat box, selecting the chat types you want to include or exclude, such as area chat. And to change the chat options, in case y'all are wondering, it is hold control, right click on the tab itself, and then hit chat settings. You'll be able to change it. Regarding future downtimes, since launch, maintenance and downtimes for Lost Ark have been fairly regular and have sometimes occurred at inopportune times for impacted regions. We understand that this is not ideal for players, and while this isn't permanent, we want to share some insight into our approach for upcoming downtimes in the near future. As we continue to operate in the launch window timeframe, our top concern is fixing issues as quickly as possible. This means that for the immediate future, maintenance may continue to happen more frequently than normal, and occasionally at times it will not always be convenient for players. Although it can be frustrating, each of these downtimes are critical steps in making improvements for the game in the long term. Looking ahead, we plan to make sure the game maintenance occurs at a cadence that is predictable and convenient to ensure that we are not cutting into prime gaming hours. This will improve selecting downtimes depending on regional locations, as well as ensuring as much work as possible can be achieved through a single weekly update. Ongoing store issues and missing product inventory items. Store issues will have drastically increased with last week's maintenances, but this is not yet fully resolved. We are still working on making improvements to these systems over time as we roll out additional batches and maintenance. And we understand that some players may still be having trouble collecting certain items and packs from their product inventories. We are still working to fix this on a broader scale. In the meantime, players with any missing items can have success getting them to appear sooner by logging into their respective server during an off-peak hour. Europe Central server queues. This is the last one here. We are aware that server queues in the Europe Central region have remained lengthy, but as we have previously mentioned, unfortunately we cannot increase the number of players that each server can hold. Additionally, adding more servers is not possible based on the complexity of the game systems and how they work with each other. Because of this, our current focus will be improving game health and stability in Europe Central so that we can ensure players there have the best in-game experience possible. For players that are considering moving to Europe West but are concerned about losing out on their claimed Twitch drops, we're happy to share that anybody who has claimed these drops on Europe Central before March 8th at 8 a.m. will receive a second set of the items previously redeemed. Includes the Arkesia Paper Hats chest, Helgaia pet chest, the Nuger Gold Mount, the Safia pet chest, and on Europe West when they log into the region following the next game maintenance after March 8th. We hope this helps make moving a little bit of an easier choice for players. Okay, so great. There's a couple things about this. I want to start with this most recent one here. This is great. The Twitch drops thing is awesome because those are unique items. They're limited time, so it's great that they're doing that for people. But they are not going to have a lot of success with moving a majority of the people who have already spent money on the game. They don't get that money back. All the items that they've retained so far. And I guess I should have started here by saying, first of all, thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for being so thorough and open in your dialogue with us. And this is great. This is awesome, especially for people who were free to play and did have the Twitch drops, and that was the only thing holding them back. I don't know if later on they'll, make the purchase thing something that they'll transfer over or not. No idea. Besides all that, great changes. I think everything here is pretty much as we sort of expected that it would be. As far as an actual valid communication from them, a full written out communication from the developers, and this is great. Rox has been awesome. You can always track the devs posts in the forums by going to the main page here and clicking on the dev tracker tab, and that is going to let you see pretty much all the comments from Rox and all the game devs on each individual thread without having to go through each topic on your own. This nerf is okay. I heard a rumor, I'm not sure if it's true, about the beta testing in the new release, people were complaining that the Guardian raids were too easy, and so they increased the HP, and now they're just returning it back to normal, what should match every other region. The other thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is this the server queue thing. So this kind of ties into the above section where they're talking about the bots. The servers can't change in size. They can only be refined. They are set in stone because of the interactivity when queuing for dungeons and all that kind of thing. So what they're going to need to do in order to ensure queue times drop is they will have to ban the bots. They will have to make sure that there are no bots on the server at all times so that they aren't holding back the queue for other real players who are actually trying to get into the game. Because there are a lot of real players who are quitting because there are bots filling up the server, and I am one of those people who's involved in that, so playing on Asta server. The queue times used to be about 16,000 at their peak. I had seen 19,000 once, and it took 6.5 hours to get through. Now queue times are about 8,000. One of my friends has mentioned that he's disconnected from queue and tabbed out of the game. I'm not sure if that has any part of it, or if the bot removal or people quitting the game has any part of it. Probably a combination of the three. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments section down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If you like this content, please do let me know, and I will go ahead and continue providing updates in the future. I generally don't like to lean toward news. I like to lean toward evergreen content that will have value later on down the line as well. But thanks again for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.